Hello and welcome to Chamber Chat. My first guest this morning is Misti Cook of Cascade Collections. Good morning, Misti. Thanks for joining me.
Good morning. Thanks for inviting me.
For our first bit of the interview, would you please give the folks at home a little bit more detail about your industry that you're in and the position that you hold?
Oh, yeah. I work for Cascade Collections. I am a client advocate. And most people would think of it as a sales associate, but I think of it as client advocate because I am advocating for my clients. I'm protecting their interests and helping them to collect the debt.
And is that a common misconception that you run into, that people think that folks that work for collections are out to get them, but really you're trying to help them, to counsel them?
Exactly. Yeah, I get that a lot. Every time I actually tell people what I do for a living, you should see their face. They go white and get a little worried.
Goodness.
And then when I explain to them that, you know, collections is unfortunately a necessary part of our society, and we aim to do it right. We are actually one of the few agencies that I know of that actually believes in treating people with respect. So it's different, but when I'm working with my clients, I really want them to feel at ease and understand that I'm here to help them. I'm not here to punish their customers or them for the situation. I want to help solve it.
I think that's really important, especially when tensions can be so high. When you get a call from somebody collecting, it's good to have somebody on the other end of that that's not already in an escalated place. I think that's really important. I know that you don't live in Monmouth and Independence, but I know that you're around a lot because I have seen you at chamber functions. Mm-hmm. What do you like about our community?
Well, actually, I love the Monmouth Independence whole area, actually. Polk County is a beautiful place, and I do spend a lot of time here. As you know, one of the things that Cascade Collections likes to do is we actually hand deliver our checks to our clients in person. So I'm here at least once a month, sometimes more often, depending on the client's needs and so forth. We have quite a few clients in the area, and I enjoy the shops. I enjoy just the whole place. It's a beautiful place to be.
What's your favorite place to eat when you're in town?
Oh, gosh, that's a tough one. It depends on my mood. Mm-hmm. Oh, gosh, I want to say Independence Grill comes to mind. Mm-hmm. They're pretty good.
Good option. There's no wrong answer. There's just so many options. There's nothing really you could say wrong. True. Yeah. What would you say is the biggest benefit from your chamber membership of Cascade Collections?
Well, I would have to say, wow, that's a tough one because it's everything from networking to the personal relationships I've developed over the years. One of my insurance agents for our family is in Independence, even though we live in Salem. And it was so funny because I told my husband, I made the suggestion, I said, we need health insurance and this is the person I want to go for. Mm-hmm. And he said, why are we driving all the way out to Independence? Mm-hmm. And when we got the great service, he realized I was right.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's worth the drive or the little extra effort to really get something, especially as important as that fits you, that works with you well. Now, kind of switching over to your professional journey, what would you say has been your biggest achievement? And it doesn't even have to be in this job if there was something that happened earlier.
Wow, surviving collections, I think is probably the best. That was the scariest, and it was the funniest journey because I didn't expect to work in collections. It's not like anybody grows up and says, yes, I want to work in collections industry, but it was at first it was difficult learning because as a client advocate, my job is not just to work with my clients, not just to get them signed up and move on. My job is to understand the laws in each different case, how each different business works, how do they service their customers so that I can be an extension of their office.
Totally understood. And now that we've kind of brought it up, how did you find yourself getting into that industry? What was the journey that took you there?
Well, it was kind of wild. I've been in outside sales for a number of years, and actually a mutual friend of mine emailed me and said there was a job opening. And unlike me, I didn't ask what it was. I just said, sure, kind of desperate. And met with Rob Robertson. He's our owner. He's owned our company for 47 years. Same owner, which is really amazing. But it was a fun interview, and we found that we had a lot in common and very similar backgrounds, and both of us had been DJs before, both of us, a lot of different wild stuff. So, we ended up finding a kinship and have the same attitude about sales, that it's an art, that sales and working with clients is not about making as much money as you can. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's not solely about that. That it's about finding the right fit, answering questions, being a resource for people. And if they need me, great. And if they don't, that's great too.
That's awesome. Okay, you were a DJ? I had no idea. Was it weddings, dances, what?
Oh, no, actually a DJ on the radio. I worked for
No.
KCCS back in the day in the early 90s when it was KCCS, and then I worked for KFAT Clue, and I even worked for KHPE in Albany.
Oh my
So a few
gosh.
years, you know, it's kind of the story of the WKRP song, you know, up and down the dial. And it's kind of how it works.
Oh gosh.
So,
What,
yeah.
what was your favorite song to play on the radio while you were a DJ?
That is really a tough call. It's been a long time.
you
I
can
think
give
probably
me-
Some Kind of Wonderful, because it was kind of a fun crossover song. So because it went from mainstream to Christian radio at that point. But yeah, and I had worked for KBZY for a while as well and doing news. So I didn't really have a whole lot of songs to worry about because I was mostly chasing the news. But
Oh my goodness.
but yeah,
how
I did a lot of
exciting.
radio back in the day. So
That was something when I was really young. I always thought that I was going to do at some point.
Really?
Is be a radio DJ. And my friend who lives in Salem recently opened a radio station. He wants me to be on for a talk show. I'm so excited.
See,
it's
you
coming
should
true.
do it. You should do it. It's a lot of fun. It's funny though with radio. One of the things that you always get that misconception because there have been TV shows and movies about it. It's not as glamorous as it seems. You know, you always picture, oh, it's going to be, you know, you're going to have a night shift and you'll have the picture of the night sky or at least some sunshine. Usually it's a cave kind of room and very brightly lit, no mood lighting there, and you feel like you're all alone. And
Rock stars aren't hanging out there.
no, not so
Oh,
much. In fact, one of my
man.
favorite things the DJ ever said when he signed off was, and thank you both for listening, because it feels like there's only two people out there, maybe your mom and your friend or something, but
Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
But,
Well-
and then, of course, eventually people start to know who you are, and you're always shocked that people
Oh,
actually listen.
yes.
So,
Oh my gosh,
but yeah,
that would
it
be
was fun.
Oh, well, thank you for letting me get to know so much more about you, Misty. I really enjoyed it. And
too.
thank you so much for your time. Thank you to all our participating guests. If you would like to be a future guest on Chamber Chat, please give us a call or shoot us an email at the information on the screen. If you would like to be a participant in future Chamber events, you can also visit us on our website, micc-or.org. There you'll find an events calendar, directory of our members, and a community board with our videos. We greatly appreciate your taking the time to watch, and we'll see you next month for Chamber Chat.